How do you negotiate more pay as a nurse or nurse practitioner in the medical field? So today, guys, I'm excited about this. This is super fun. This is super fun stuff because we could all use a little bit more income, right? That's not a bad thing. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But first, I kind of want to throw some tips at you on making sure that you know how to negotiate pay going forward, how you're able to really and truthfully make more money just in your day-to-day. So the first thing I want you to know is that anytime you're going into a negotiation with anything or for anything, you always want to make sure that they know what's in it for them and that you are actually literally invested in their outcome. So let's say even if we're negotiating a dollar amount, that you're wanting to actually ask for more income than what maybe is even typical, but you know what you bring to the table and you're wanting to ask for more money, always frame things in the place of it benefiting the individual and just say, that I want to feel completely fulfilled. I want to make sure that I'm giving you every bit of energy. I know how expensive it is to replace employees, and I want this to be something that's mutually beneficial. I am extremely invested in this company. I love the mission of it. I know that this is the right place for me. It is everything that I've wanted to be a part of for X, Y, and Z time, whatever it is that's true to you. And I want to make sure that I want to stay here for a really long time. I want to be sure that neither one of us feel like there is an option of lack here. And going about it from your mental mindset on that is super important. Going forward and saying that, it's not greedy for me. I'm not just being greedy, asking for more income. I'm literally wanting the best for the company because everybody knows that feeling of going to work and feeling, man, this is not worth the money. We all know those feelings and it doesn't benefit anybody. It comes out negative anytime you're at work and you're with, your other your employees or your coworkers or whatever it is. And that feeling doesn't help and benefit anybody. But when we know that we're going to have you're walked into the unit and you're going to get time and a half or double pay or something like that, you are kicking out that shift a little bit better, right? Like people are happier to be around you because I'm making bank being here. Like, let's do this. Let's go, right? So wanting to always have that positive energy for your employer, for your clients, for everything, knowing that it's not just about you and it really and truthfully isn't. And knowing that it's in the best benefit of everybody that we all feel happy. And don't go about it, especially because we're going to talk about another episode about there truthfully is a lot of there is some competition right now. There is what I'm trying to say is there's saturation of the market. Thank you, brain, for working. There is some saturation, but at that point, know that you literally have so many skills. And if you're able to find yourself in a place where you can train others on positive energy, if you can train others on helping them be more efficient, if you're able to train people within the company to help make the company more money, you are always negotiable. If you can find a way to make them more income, if whenever I first went to my first job, I had tons of ideas for the clinic in order to make it more money. And I had tons of ideas rolling out. And, I said, hey, I'm going to be this is who I am. This is how I am. Anytime that you can show them that you're going to make them more money, they're much more willing to do that. So keep an open mind. But the thing about this is that the market is not saturated with you. The market is not oversaturated with your personal, valuable touch. They can only get that from you, and only one employer is going to get you. So they are not saturated for you and everything that you can offer. Dive down deep. What did you lead in? What projects have you completed? Where have you found other income before? Also, guys, don't forget about negotiating time off. So this is super important because our time off is important. really and truthfully, 2 weeks a year, it's like nothing. That's barely, that's a vacation and a half, because you always have to have a little bit of recoup from it, right? So going in there and knowing that, hey, sometimes your time is the most important thing. That's the one thing you're not ever getting back any of. So going in there and thinking about negotiating that. Another thing that you can negotiate besides income are your benefits and also your CME. So be remembering those things whenever you're going in to your profession and you want to negotiate and getting, money for CME is really important. Loan repayments is another thing, because that's written off as a 1099. It's different for taxes for the employer themselves. So sometimes there's a lot more wiggle room whenever we're talking about getting loan repayments going in there, because there's more tax write-off and there's more ways for that to be kind of leveraged in a way that's easier for the employer to be able to leverage it. So therefore you can actually ask for more in that way. So making it, loan repayment system. And that way you can also, if you feel comfortable, sign into a contract that gives them the security of not having to refill your place, but you get the security of knowing that you're going to have more income as a result of that. So those are all things that you can think of. Negotiating working from home. That's another thing that's super important. And that's something that you can go forward with this and feel good about your job, because you don't have to commute as much. You have to spend as much gas. Like that's you saving your own income. And it can be something that is, really beneficial. It's really pretty awesome whenever you work and then you just walk outside and there's your family right there. And you don't have to commute, and you can be there. You can easily have lunch with your family or whatever it is. So working from home can be really beneficial. And that's possibly something, even with telehealth. I mean, that's an awesome thing. I've heard of some individuals who even have unlimited time off. They will see a certain amount of patients in a certain amount of time, and then they can actually go forward with that and say, if I see this many patients, like I get to leave at this certain time. And that gives a lot of time freedom, and that's pretty awesome. I mean, everything that we're doing, it's not necessarily about the money, it's about how we want to feel and how we want to enjoy life, right? So those are all things that you can think of. Going into other specialties can kind of increase your salary. Some are really, hot right now, and they may be very beneficial to you. Neonatal NP is paying really good. Psych has a pretty high demand in many areas, so that might be helpful for you. When you are negotiating, I never want you to actually give away the number first. Whoever says the number first kind of loses the power. So when you're going to negotiating, you got to kind of play your cards right. You got to say, well, I would entertain any idea that is fair. I would like to know what range you are thinking of, or given my experience in X, Y, and Z, giving my dedication, giving my good track record, given the ideas that I have that could make more money for us, I would entertain anything that would honor that value and that would feel mutually acceptable and that both of us could feel good about. So always try to get them to give you the number first, and then go from there. So you can be more numbers based. Come about this with not just a willy-nilly, well, I know most people make this and some people make that. I want you to know your numbers going in whenever you negotiate. Now, Medicaid, Medicare all reimburse based upon a certain number that is figured out every year. And usually it's somewhere around 35. And you take that number of reimbursement and multiply it by the RVUs that you're getting for your visit. Okay, and that's about the money that you're going to get. Well, that would be the exact. If you get the exact, you have to look and see what year you're in, and then multiply it by that reimbursement amount. And then that's going to tell you how much you earn for the clinic, how much you're paid per patient, per RVU that you see. And you can know from that, well, about how many patients am I expected to see, will I see, and know what you're going to bring to the clinic financially wise. So that's an important part to know and understand whenever you're coming forward or going forward with your negotiations. And another thing you can negotiate, if the pay is not where you want it to be, you can negotiate, well, how many patients am I expected to see? And you can negotiate a percentage of the clinic. If I make more for the clinic, then I get a percentage of that. And then that way they know that, well, she is only going to get paid more if we're getting paid more. And that can be also something that's really, whenever you start understanding those things, you can start becoming more aware, and you can have more leverage there for negotiations. So I hope this was kind of fun for you guys. It is important for you to know on the energetics of income and of money, and knowing that you don't necessarily have to sell your soul for a paycheck. Money doesn't have to necessarily come hard. You don't have to feel like you have completely sacrificed and given your entire life and your being and your first child just for that paycheck. It doesn't have to be that way. And as a matter of fact, I really recommend it not being that way. And that's something that, we really talk about in our Healer to Home, and we dive in deep on how to allow more income to come to you so you can feel better, so you can have less stress, so you can have more control over your life, so you can live the life that you were really and truthfully destined to live and not just get by. Start feeling like that you enjoy life and have that happiness. So our next Healer to Home is going to be opening up for applications pretty soon. I'm going to drop the link here. So we're going to start allowing people in. There are limited spots. I can only work with so many people because it's a very deep dive. We go over a lot of different things. We are going to talk about memory optimized. We talk a lot about neuroplasticity, helping you learn faster. That's something that can really benefit you going forward whenever you're a quick learner and you know that you're a fast learner, you're a fast worker. That's something you can negotiate, guys. That is negotiable skills. We're going to get you memory optimized, time hack warrior. You're going to be charting like a pro. You're going to be doing all of the things. You're going to be getting through your day like a pro. You're going to be an energy rock star. It's another thing we talk about is having that energy, where that comes from. I mean, people all the time, they're like, how do you have so much energy? And I'm like, secret, I actually have a cold right now. And they're like, what? I'm like, yes, it's because energy doesn't come from where people think it comes from. It doesn't come from caffeine. It doesn't come from the things that we think it does. So I'm going to be spilling all of those secrets in my next Healer to Home. And then we're going to wrap it all up like we always do. And we're going to talk about how can I get you more money? How can I get you making more money? Whether it's at your job, or my favorite thing to help people with is building their very own profitable passion project. So that is super fun. That's where we really get to dive in deep. That's why I can really and truthfully scale you and get you home sooner, because guess what? You have your own secondary income. So I want to free you up for that. I want you to feel really and truthfully empowered. We have that. And I'm also going to be dropping down below before that starts. If you just cannot wait, I have a free training coming forward, and we're going to be talking all about that and how you can literally build that profitable passion project without the hustle and all of the negative energy that comes with that, and sacrificing time, family, and being able to avoid all of that hassle and hustle and be able to find blue waters. And if you're not familiar with that, then you really and truthfully need to make sure that you are joining us in that group. So I'm going to leave both of those links below. And I cannot wait to see y'all in this, because it changes lives. I love it every single time, because it's awesome being able to give this forward and pay this forward to other people. And it's super fun too, connecting and everything. So thanks for chiming in, guys. I'm super, super grateful and thankful that you're here. If you don't mind, go ahead and give a review. Give a 5-star review if you feel like it deserves it. If you feel like this is going to help you earn some income, if you feel like this is going to give you some peace and happiness in your life, all that I ask in return is just a little bit of a 5-star review, guys. Give it the like, do whatever it is that you need. And thank you so much, guys. Mwah. Bless. Love you all. Bye-bye.